Greetings, everyone. My name is Ben Lewakowski. I'm the principal at the intermediate school. I'm sharing this video with you in preparation for your sons and daughters transitioning to the intermediate school for fifth grade. I hope that you're ready for a great summer, and I hope that you're ready for a great school year in the fall. Our motto here at Spring Lake Intermediate School is a time to grow. We start transitioning and getting ready students for middle school. We see ourselves as the bridge between elementary school and when they get to secondary. We start letting students have a little bit more responsibility throughout the day, but at the same time facilitating that with 2-person and 3-person teams as they prepare for secondary school. Our school day, we will have two 2-person teams next year and 1 3-person team next year. Students switch classes, but it's not on a bell system. They simply line up and move from class to class. Along with our classroom subjects, we have our encore classes. Students refer to them as specials in the elementary. Those are phys ed, art, music, health, and technology, and we also start band in the 5th grade as well. The teachers next year are Mr. Green and Mrs. Sova. They are a 2-person team. Mrs. Johnson and Mr. Keefe, the other 2-person team. Mr. Keller, Mrs. O'Donnell, and Mrs. Haverstock make up our 3-person team. Mr. Green and Mrs. Sova will teach language arts and reading to their homeroom classes, along with math. Mr. Green is the science teacher. Mrs. Sova is the social studies teacher. In the 2-person team of Mrs. Johnson and Mr. Keefe, Mrs. Johnson's the science teacher. Mr. Keefe is the social studies teacher. And in the 3-person team, Mr. Keller teaches social studies. Mrs. O'Donnell teaches science. Mrs. Haverstock will be teaching writing, and each teacher will teach reading and math to their homeroom classes. We also have 2 other support teachers in our building that work with 5th graders. Mrs. Wessel is our special education teacher, and Mrs. Olson works with at-risk Title I students. Our administrative assistant, Mrs. Sabo, her email is located at the bottom of the screen. If you have questions at any time, always feel free to send her an email or call up to the school office so that she can answer your questions. Our schedule, our doors will open at 8:30 each day. Classes begin at 8:45. From 8:45 until 11:10, your son and daughter will be in their first academic block, which means they'll be in one of the 2 or 3 teachers that you saw earlier. Encore classes run from 11:10 till 12. All 5th graders go to encore at the same time, or band. They just go to different rooms at that time. Lunch is from 12 until 12:30. Recess is from 12:30 to 12:50. Our second academic block is from 12:50 to 3:40, and dismissal is 3:40 p.m. A lot of students wonder about band and how do I sign up? During the first few weeks of school, it's the only time that our encores are different daily. I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. We do this because in the beginning of the year, we want all the students to have an opportunity to try all of the band instruments. After they've tried them all, we ask them to go home, talk with mom and dad on whether or not they like to play. And then after those 2 weeks are done, they're scheduled into their encore either with a band rotation or without one. We have 12-week marking periods. All of our grades are located online. You can look at PowerSchool to check their grades or their lunch account. We also use a program called Schoology, which you'll be receiving more information about as we get closer to the fall. Our encore classes they don't change daily like they do in the elementary schools. They're on 7-week sessions, meaning if your son or daughter had art to begin with, they would have art every day for 7 weeks instead of a different encore every day. If they decide that they're going to be in band, we pull out of our encores for band on an every other day rotation. So again, using the art example, if your son or daughter is in band and they have art, they would go to art on Monday, band on Tuesday, art on Wednesday, band on Thursday throughout the 7-week session. We send a newsletter home every 2 weeks via email. There are 2 band concerts each year. And Popcorn Friday here is every Friday, and the first Friday is always free. Your sons and daughters will be turning in their iPads as they leave Holmes and Jeffers, and they will have Chromebooks next year when they get to the intermediate school. They'll actually have their Chromebook for from 5th grade on through 12th grade. You'll receive more information about them as we get closer, but I wanted to make you aware of the fact that they will not use iPads anymore, but they will use Chromebooks. A lot of people have asked how we create class lists. I use a lot of information from the teachers and principals from the elementary schools. I've asked for parent input, which you had an opportunity to do quite some time back. And what my goal is to do is to balance the classes, mixing boys and girls, Holmes and Jeffers, academics, social behaviors, to make sure that the classroom is balanced for the students and for the teacher. We also offer a lot of extracurricular things for kids to do. Those things change from year to year. Staples have been chess club, boys basketball, girls basketball, ski club. We have a spelling bee every year. But again, we send that information through our insights, and we also make daily announcements for the kids so that they know what's currently being offered. Rachel's Challenge is a program that your son or daughter will have an opportunity to participate in next year. Again, more information will come home with in the fall. It will look a little bit different if you've had a child go through the building already, but the 5 challenges that we focus on in 5th grade through 8th grade are listed on the right-hand side. Again, more information will be coming home with your sons and daughters in the fall. As far as the continuing of the transition to the building, keep an eye out for additional screencasts, things being posted, information. Make sure you keep your email up to date because we will send all of our information electronically. If you have any questions, you can always call the school office and talk to Lisa or I, and my email is there on the bottom as well in case you have any questions. I hope that you have found this screencast helpful. We've gone to this method because many parents have asked to have information they can refer back to, and they've also explained that they just don't need one more meeting to go to in the spring. Again, I'm looking very forward to seeing you and seeing your kids in the fall. It's going to be a great school year. And as I stated before, if you have any questions during this transition, by all means, please give me a call. I hope you have a great summer, and I'll see you soon.